Good morning. I know y'all hear it every morning, especially for those who tune in to Consistency is Currency, um, your morning podcast of choice. You hear it all the time, so I'm gonna tell you good morning. So, especially for those who got people who don't really receive good mornings in the morning, you got people who walk past you like zombies as if you was never there. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna say good morning to you. I'm going to show you gratitude. I am going to tell you I appreciate you for being here. I'm going to tell you that I acknowledge your presence for being here and say thank you for being here throughout the year. Like 2022 has been a very interesting year. It has been a learning process for me, and I'm sure it has been a learning process for you in how you have developed yourself throughout the year. This is the last Friday of 2022. And with it being the last Friday of 2022, um, so what have you learned about yourself? Like, what have you learned, whether it is emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, professionally, personally, whatever it is? Like, what have you learned about you this year? And and you can use those things that you learned about you, whether it be good or bad, however you want to see it, however you want to define it. um it's completely up to you. Really, it's not up to anybody else to see how you see yourself or how you saw yourself this year. It's up to how you can look transparently at you and acknowledge you and acknowledge those things that you've done throughout the year, whether it be good or bad. uh it was an experience for you, but what you do with the experience then falls solely on the responsibilities of what are you going to do about that particular experience that you've gained. That is a that is your responsibility, not anyone else's. 2022 has been a year that people have lost loved ones. It's been a year people have went out of business. It's been a year that people have started businesses. It's been a year where new babies have been brought into this world. It's been a year of life and death. It's been a year of good and bad. It's been a year of triumph and tribulations. But what have you learned along the way? So, as you see the question that is proposed right here, like, are you ready for a transformation? That is completely up to you to decide. Not me, not your mama, not your daddy, not your cousin, not your brother, not your sister, not your uncle, not your auntie, your boss, your friend, your lover, your partner, whatever it is. The transformation is solely up to you. Now, you may have a mentor or somebody that may give you possibly some pointers or some recommendations, but after the last breath has been completely let out of that person, off of the last recommendation that they gave you, the responsibility must then be assumed by you. So if this year for you has been hard, you're still here. You've made it to see the last Friday of 2022. There's someone whose yesterday was their last day. There's someone whose last week was their last week. You're able to still be here, even in this day, even have life inside of you, to have breath inside of your lungs, to have your body work, your limbs, your eyesight, whatever it is, you're able to complete and to go through a transformation. But going through that transformation, again, is completely up to you. All right, that's the intro. But good morning. How has your month been? I mean, we can talk about the whole year, but how has your month been? Have you been adjusting to whatever it is that you're going into or whatever it is that you are about to do? Again, the responsibility is all yours. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and take this live and share it on your timeline or share it inside a Facebook group that you know, or just text it to someone because today is going to really be a eye-opening experience talking about transformation, learning a little bit more about transformation, and how transformation can be beneficial to you. But like we do every Friday, we appreciate those who are listening in international waters. So, but this time I'm going to show you just a little bit different. So we're going to pretty much, of course, everybody in the U.S., I appreciate you. India, thank you. Nigeria, thank you. South Africa, appreciate you. Germany, Italy, Puerto Rico, thank you. Kenya, thank you. United Kingdom, thank you for listening. Canada, South Korea, Indonesia, thank you for listening. Singapore, France, Netherlands, thank you. Pakistan, we thank you for listening. Russia, I guess you understand, but we thank you for listening. Um, just a plethora of international listeners. Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Nepal. I think that's a new one. Morocco, thank you. Mexico, thank you. New Zealand, thank you. Ireland, Turkey, Slovenia, Namibia, Dominican Republic, Austria, U.S. Virgin Islands, Thailand, Ethiopia, Malaysia, Belgium, the Philippines, thank you. Latvia, thank you. And to all of our podcast platform listeners. As you can see, Apple Podcasts, majority of listeners come from the Apple Podcast. So we thank you, those who have iPhones who listen to the podcast on Apple web browsers. Spotify is coming in. Anchor, we appreciate you too. And for our genders, we got 71% male listeners, 14% female listeners, and the other 14 people don't want nobody know who they are, but we thank you and appreciate you very much. From the age standpoint, um, our ages, as you can see, 24 to 27. The largest listeners coming from the 28 to 34. We say thank you. Then it goes from 40 to 44, 45 to 59. We all are here together. So I say thank you and I appreciate you just being in this space. Dr. Jennings, I appreciate you for being here like always. So let's get into it. Let me switch out this share screen. Then we're going to jump into today's conversation about transformation. The big transformation. Again, go ahead and put transformation in the chat because I've learned some things about transformation today just by getting this lesson plan ready. For those that know, I mean, I don't prep the day before because a lot of times I don't know what I'm going to talk about until it comes out, and it comes out how it's supposed to come out. That's just pretty much how it is. Are you ready for a transformation? That's today's question. That's the question of the day. Are you ready for a transformation? Like, I want you to ask some of your friends today, are you ready for a transformation? That's when you're going to begin to figure out, like, how people think, like, who thinks a certain way. If they ask you, well, what kind of transformation are you talking about? I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's not how you think. That's not how you develop. That's not how you formulate your thoughts. So if you're ready for a transformation, say that. Again, the question is, are you ready for a transformation? Good morning, Ta Da Lee. Told you that's how I got to say it. Those are all syllables. Ta Da Lee. Good morning to you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump. Again, for those who know the platform, you're going to get inversions through definitions, red over white or white over red. And then normally there would be an etymology, but we have no etymology. We're going to go from there and jump into the deep dive because the deep dive, I think the deep dive is so dope today. That's just me. You know, I pat myself on the back because that's how it came out. So I appreciate how it came out. So the big transformation. All right, as you can see, the first definition of transformation, it says the process by which one figure expression or function is converted into another that is equivalent in some important respect, but is differently expressed or represented. I'm going to read that again. The process by which one figure expression or function is converted into another that is equivalent in some important respect important respect, but is differently expressed or represented. And the inversion on this is red over white. So that means pay attention to the words that are in red. So we're going to take this definition and invert it into something a lot more relevant to today, and something definitely a lot more relevant to the big transformation. So the red over white is a process by which one is converted into another, but is differently expressed or represented. Like, where are you at in your conversion? Because transformation is an act. It is something that is physically, mentally, spiritually done through action. It is a process. That is not something that happens overnight, but it is something that willfully happens when you understand that there is a process that goes along with it. And I love the part where it says, but is differently expressed or represented. You trying to figure out why something continues to happen the way it is because you haven't changed at all. You're still represented the same way. You're still expressed the same way. You still talking to people all types of ways, and you want to say that you've changed, but you're still representing the same person that you said you changed from. The expression is still the same. So therefore, how was the process for you that had converted you, but you're still expressed and representing the same thing that you said you were not going to do? I'm stepping on toes today. I don't know how it's going to come out, but it's going to come out, and it's going to come out how it's supposed to come out. If your feelings get hurt, that's not my intent. My intent is to allow you to understand that there is a big transformation that is either taking place, or a big transformation that either have taken place, or a big transformation that need to take place. Again, I'm speaking outwardly in a digital dialogue that we all can hear. Like, I'm absorbing some of the things. Like, have you ever said, like, I'm not going to do this anymore, but you're still expressing the same thing? There is no difference in representation. There is no difference in the expression, in how you say things, how you carry yourself, in the places that you go. So therefore, you're still doing the same thing because you haven't acknowledged the process that something has in order for it to be converted. I'm just giving you definition. You can see it for yourself. Like, are you still functioning the same way? Again, it's all in the definition. Are you still functioning the same way? That's why there's no conversion, because your functions are still the same. The things that you said that you're not going to do is still being done the same way. The things that the places that you said you're not going to go, you're still expressing yourself by going like, I want to go to this place. So you're expressing that you still have the same interest. So therefore, the change won't happen because the functionality is still functioning the same way. And then it says the equivalent. Isn't that kind of like the equivalence to insanity? I'm just giving you definitions. All I'm doing, I'm just giving you definitions. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna go to the next one. All right. Like I couldn't find an inversion on this because it just hit on all cylinders. So the definition of transformation is a complete change in the appearance or character of something or someone, especially so that thing or person is improved. Like no need for inversion. Like you pick and choose which one of these that you can identify with, and then you hold truth to it. Because it has to be a complete change. The evolution of you is only dictated by what have you evolved from and what experience have you gained through the evolution. There has to be a complete change in the appearance. Have you ever met someone who began their new journey and they look happy? Like their transformation changed their appearance. They skin glow different. Their smile is different. They got a little bop in their step is a little bit different because there is something that has transformed inside of them. So therefore, there are new things that people see about them that they've never seen before. Again, I'm just giving you definition. And the character, there is a new development within the character of that individual because they wanted something different. They did it with the intent of transforming, not the intent of just changing. And that's when we're going to get really deep into the difference between change and transformation. And the next definition of transformation is to radically change. Like I couldn't find an inversion on this because all of it makes sense. Again, you pick the fruit that you feel that you want to eat from in this definition. A radical change in the outward form or inner character. The radical change to radically change the outward form or inner character. Now, what I want to do real quick, some of you haven't done it, take this live and go ahead and share it because the deep dive is something that's going to be really deep. I'm about to extract out of this definition and really begin to transform in the dialogue itself. So again, it says to radically change the outward form or inner character. This can kind of be used as a radical change of the outward form by the inner character. Again, because when you begin to feel happy about you and healed internally, the outward has no other responsibility but to look different. But it has to take, like the definition said, it has to take a radical change. Like something radical changes when you understand that I am doing this for a reason. Because if you want something to change, then you have to transform how you see it. Y'all see it? The difference? If you want something to change, you have to transform the way that you see it. Because change is what? Change is the inevitable byproduct of transformation. That's the R2 definition. Change is the inevitable byproduct of transformation. Because when it says be transformed by the renewing of the mind, it didn't talk anything about change. It talked about a transformation. And in order for the transformation to take place, it wasn't a minor change. It was what? A radical change of the outward form or the inner character. Because with that completely radical transformation and not that surface change, you can't have transformation without change, but you can have change without transformation. Like you can't, like, even in the definitions, look up the word change and look up the word transformation. You cannot have transformation without change, but you can have change without transformation because it takes a radical level of transparency, accountability, and sacrifice that most are not willing to do. That's why it's it's that's why you can have the word change without transformation, because a lot of people aren't willing to go through that transparency and accountability and the sacrifice in order for the transformation to take place. It takes a level of will to want to go and to even deal or dwell in the realm of transformation. Like you have the intent, you have to have the true intent of the radical change in order for that to even take place. Like, I mean, like for real, for real. If you want it, that's one of those things you got to go get it. Because if you don't go get it, it will not happen for you. So we're about to go to the deep dive in the big transformation. Good morning, Miss Nicola. Good morning, Miss Latricia. I appreciate you for being here. We're going to close this year out strong. We're going to close this week out strong. We're going to close this last Friday. We're going to shut it down. And I want you to acknowledge that a transformation has to happen. Like whether it's a transformation in your child's life or a transformation in your life or a transformation in the people that you surround yourself with life. Like for those who know me, I don't do New Year's resolution. I don't have those types of conversations about New Year's resolution. To me, it's about the transformation. That's real change. A resolution, and you just doing traditional things that that everybody do around the same time of the year. Like what happened to your resolution in July? Right? What happened to your vision board that you created in December? But here it is, the last Friday of December. Like what on your vision board did you not accomplish? Maybe you should do something different. I don't know. That's just me. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this deep dive. We about to go so deep. Put your snorkels on, put your fins on, because we about to go swim. Now, your transformation, if there is no transformation, it is a threat to your destiny. I'm going to say that part again, and I want you to absorb that. Without transformation, without it, that is a complete direct threat to your destination. It is a threat to your destiny. Right? Because something has to happen. And your inability to commit to transformation will deny you of your future you. There is transformation that occurs like during the gestational period. Right? There is a mighty transformation. There is a mighty transformation like that happens with the caterpillar. The caterpillar don't go through a change, but it goes through a complete transformation. The tadpole goes through a life-altering transformation. Your big transformation may just be on the other side of your apology. It may be on the other side of your forgiveness. Are you willing to submit? Are you willing to commit? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice to see yourself through your transformation? Are you willing to transform your maybes into a must, your I can't into completed, a great transformation of your obstacles and your oppositions into opportunities? Are you willing to transform your determination into your domination? Are you willing to transform that dominating vision into dominating your destiny and to dominate yourself through the journey? That is completely up to you. So stop lying to yourself with New Year's resolution, with your body transformation, but your mind is all jacked up, dehydrated, malnourished, busted, and disgusted, but you don't have no personal development. Like, aren't you ready for a transformation? Nah, you ready for a resolution, a New Year's resolution, but you all toe up on the inside. Like, aren't you ready to transform your depression, your anxieties, your self sabotage into healing and self determination? Because there's transformation in your fight back, there's transformation in your seeds. Just like the acorn is hard, it has a shell, but then when you plant it in the right place and you plant it in the right situation and circumstance, what happens? It become rooted, it roots itself into a massive oak tree because it had to go through a great and mighty transformation. Like, when are you going to start rooting for you? When are you going to start rooting for yourself in order for you to have and to develop this great and mighty transformation? It is completely up to you, not anyone else. Your mama can't root you. You have to be rooted. Now, your mama can give you some foundation, but you still have to root yourself. Like, I want you to start rooting for you a lot more than what you have done for you in the past. Like, cheer yourself on. Go through that internal transformation. Get you some professional development. I mean, it's good to go to the gym, but you weak in your mind. You're weak in your head. Your intentions are weak. You want to talk about change, but you can't communicate about transformation because you all about the change. Because remember, you cannot have you cannot have change without transformation. Change is the byproduct of the transformation. That means it will happen whether you're ready for it or not, because you're working on it. You're applying yourself to the process. You're applying yourself to the direction. Your discipline is on point. Your stamina is now involved. Your endurance is now involved. There are so many things that has to be involved with your transformation, because remember, it says that transformation is a process. But the first thing about the process of transformation, you have to process the thought first. Like, I'm ready to go through it. And whatever it is that I need to go through in order for me to make it happen, going through it is what? It's just a byproduct of the process. So, one, figure it out. And when you figure out what your transformation is, what your transformation is going to be, the only thing that you have to do after that is just do it. Like, take the first step. Take the first step and then duplicate that process. Then do it again. Then do it again. Then do it again. Because now you're going to have more tools, more experiences, more victories in order for you to process the very next thing that you are going to do. Everything that you do takes a process. But the renewing has to happen within the mindset in order for everything else to materialize. All right, that's enough. But man, I for everybody that's been throughout this journey, with consistency as currency throughout the year of 2022. I appreciate you 1,000%. You don't have to be here in the morning. You can be anywhere. You can be, I don't know, watching YouTube videos. But if you do watch YouTube videos, go ahead and go to the Consistency as Currency and go check out everything else that we've done on this platform itself. There's no other direction to go but up. Why? Because I don't give it any other option. Some of y'all probably have to do that. Stop giving other things option, and you don't have to give it option. Like, I'm telling you where it's going to go, because I'm not giving it any alternative option but to work. Sometimes you're going to have to take the option away. You're going to have to take the alternatives away and just execute. It'll work itself out. Execute through fear, execute through the pain, execute with determination, execute with discipline, and then do it over again. All right, that's enough. Man, I appreciate y'all for being here. Again, just being in this space completely. Thank you, Miss Nicola. Plant seeds, giving us the resources we need to grow. Indeed, I'm gonna sprinkle a little water on it. But yeah, I see y'all on the other side, whatever that is for you. And let's allow this big transformation to take place. Like, look at what you want to transform and transform it by the renewing of your thoughts, renewing of your mind, the renewing of the places that you go, renewing of your language, renewing of the things that you say, the renewing of the things that you do, that inward and outward approach. Transformation, again, change is the byproduct of transformation. But you can't change and be transformed. But when you transform, change will take place. But anyway, y'all be blessed. And I appreciate you again for being here at Consistency as Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Peace.